A single father stood alone against 5 dangerous men. They came to hurt his daughter and her best friend. But he said, "Stay behind me," and took 3 bullets to protect them. This is the true story of a man who gave everything for love. This is the story of a hero who was not famous. This is the story of a father's sacrifice. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. His name was James. James looked at the clock on his kitchen wall. It was almost 6 in the evening. He had 15 minutes to pick up his daughter from school. He grabbed his old jacket and checked his pockets, keys, wallet, phone. Everything was there. He looked at himself in the mirror near the door and saw a tired face. His brown eyes had deep lines around them. He was 38 years old, but he looked 50. Life had been hard on him. But James did not complain. James was a fighter. James was a single father, and he was proud of that. James had raised Sophie all by himself. For 5 years, he had been both mother and father. Every morning, he woke up early and made breakfast for Sophie. He made sure she was clean and dressed nicely for school. He packed her lunch with love. He put little notes in her lunchbox, notes that said, "I love you," or "You are my star," or "Have a great day, my beautiful girl." Every evening, when James came home from the factory, his body ached. His hands hurt from working with machines all day. His back hurt from standing for 12 hours. His feet hurt from walking on hard factory floors. But when Sophie ran to him and jumped into his arms, all the pain went away. All the tiredness disappeared. James worked at the factory for 12 years. He was a good worker. His boss respected him. His co-workers liked him. But they also knew he was different. He did not go to bars with them after work. He did not spend money on useless things. He saved every penny because he wanted to give Sophie a good life. He wanted to send her to college. He wanted her to have a better life than he had. James came from a poor family. His parents were not rich. His father worked in a coal mine. His mother worked in a small shop. They did not have much money. But they had love. They had each other. And that was enough. James's father died when James was 19 years old. A cave-in at the mine. His father never came home. James had to grow up very fast. He had to help his mother. He had to work and take care of her. But he always remembered his father's words, "A man is not measured by how much money he has. A man is measured by how he takes care of his family." When Sophie was born, James understood these words completely. He understood what it meant to be a man. He understood that being a father was not just about providing food and shelter. It was about love. It was about sacrifice. It was about putting your child first, always. Every day, James thanked God for Sophie. He thanked God for this little girl who called him Dad. He thanked God for the chance to be a father. He did not have much money. He did not have a big house. He did not have fancy things. But he had something much more valuable. He had a daughter who loved him. He had a reason to wake up every morning. He had hope for the future. James was a factory worker. He worked long hours every day. He came home tired and hungry. But he smiled when he saw his daughter's face. She was the only good thing he had. Her name was Sophie, and she was 12 years old. Her mother had left them 5 years ago. She went away with another man, and James never saw her again. But James did not become sad or angry. He became strong. He became a father and a mother to Sophie. Sophie was a beautiful girl. She had her father's brown eyes and a smile that could light up the darkest room. She was smart in school. She liked to read books and write stories. She wanted to become a journalist when she grew up. She loved asking questions and finding the truth about things. James had a simple life. He worked. He came home. He cooked dinner for Sophie. They ate together at their small kitchen table. He helped her with her homework. He listened to her talk about her day. He asked her about her friends and her teachers. He held her when she was sad. He laughed with her when she was happy. This was enough for James. This was everything. But today, something was different. Something was wrong. James was driving to pick up Sophie from school when his phone rang. He saw the name on the screen, David Chen. David was his friend. They had worked together at the factory for 10 years. But David had left the factory 2 years ago. He became a crime reporter for the city newspaper. James was proud of David. But he did not see him very often now. James answered the phone. James. Thank God. David's voice was loud and worried. Listen to me carefully. I need to tell you something. You need to be very careful. What? What is wrong? James asked. His heart began to beat fast. I have been writing about the Moreno gang, David said. You know them? They control the south side of the city. They sell drugs. They hurt people. I have been finding evidence against them. I have been talking to people. I have been writing stories. And now they know about it. They are angry. James felt cold. The Moreno gang. Everyone in the city knew about them. They were dangerous. They had no mercy. They did not care about laws or rules or people's lives. I got a warning today, David continued. Someone came to my office. They said the gang knows where I live. They know where I work. They know about my family. They said I should stop writing about them. They said if I do not stop, something bad will happen. Something very bad. James did not say anything. He was listening. James, I need your help, David said. His voice was shaking. My wife is away on a business trip. She left this morning. She will be away for 1 week. I have my daughter, Emma. She is in your daughter's school. She is in Sophie's class. I have to work late tonight. I have to meet with sources. I have to write my story. I cannot leave Emma alone. Can you pick her up today? Can you keep her at your house? Can you keep her safe? James thought for a moment. He thought about Sophie. He thought about Emma. Emma was a good girl. She was Sophie's best friend. They spent time together almost every day. Sophie loved Emma. And James loved Sophie. Yes, James said. Yes, I will pick up Emma. I will keep her safe. Thank you, James, David said. His voice was full of relief. Thank you. You are a true friend. I will pick up Emma tomorrow morning. I promise. Just keep her safe. Do not let her out of your sight. James hung up the phone. He felt worried, but he also felt brave. He could do this. He could keep both girls safe. James drove to the school. The school was a big brick building with a large playground. Many children were coming out of the building. James parked his car and waited. He saw Sophie first. She was walking with Emma. They were laughing about something. Emma was telling a story, and Sophie was listening. Sophie saw her father and ran to him. She jumped into his arms, and he hugged her tight. Hi, Dad. Sophie said. Look. Emma is staying at our house tonight. Emma came up to James and smiled. She was a small girl with black hair and dark eyes. She looked a little worried, but she was trying to hide it. Hello, Emma, James said. He put his arm around her. Your father asked me to pick you up today. Is that okay? Emma nodded. Yes, Mr. James. Thank you for picking me up. Call me James, James said. Come on. Let's go home. I will make dinner. You can both help me. The three of them walked to the car. James held the door open for both girls. They got in the back seat. James got in the front seat and started the car. He looked in the mirror and saw both girls smiling at each other. They looked safe. They looked happy. But James felt the worry in his chest. He could not shake it away. He thought about what David had said. He thought about the Moreno gang. He knew this was serious. James drove home carefully. He obeyed all the traffic rules. He did not drive too fast or too slow. He wanted everything to be normal. He wanted the girls to feel safe. At home, James's small house was warm and welcoming. It had 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a small kitchen. The walls were painted light blue. There were family photos on the walls. Photos of Sophie when she was a baby, photos of James and Sophie together. This house was not big or fancy, but it was home. It was filled with love. James told the girls to sit in the living room. He gave them juice and cookies. Then he went to the kitchen to cook dinner. He made chicken, rice, and vegetables. It was a simple meal, but it was made with love. While James cooked, the girls talked and laughed in the living room. Sophie was telling Emma about a new book she was reading. Emma was asking questions. They sounded happy. James could hear them, and it made his heart feel less worried. Dinner was ready at 7 o'clock. The 3 of them sat at the kitchen table. They ate together. James asked the girls about school. He asked them what they learned. He asked them about their friends. The girls told him everything. Sophie talked about her math test. Emma talked about her art project. James listened to every word. He smiled and nodded. He made them feel important. After dinner, it was 8 o'clock. James told the girls to go upstairs and get ready for bed. Sophie showed Emma the guest room. It was a small room with a bed and a window. Emma put her backpack on a chair. She changed into her sleeping clothes. Sophie put on her sleeping clothes too. Both girls came back downstairs to say goodnight to James. James was sitting in his chair in the living room. He stood up when he saw the girls. He hugged Sophie first. He held her close and kissed the top of her head. "I love you, Sophie," he said. "I love you too, Dad," Sophie said. "Thank you for letting Emma sleep here." "Of course, honey," James said. "Emma is your friend. Friends take care of each other." James hugged Emma too. "Sleep well, Emma," he said. "I will see you in the morning." "Thank you, James," Emma said. She looked at him with her dark eyes. She looked safe now. She looked happy. Sophie took Emma's hand, and they went upstairs to sleep. James sat in his chair. The house was quiet now. Only the sound of the refrigerator and the clock on the wall could be heard. James thought about David. He thought about the Moreno gang. He picked up his phone and called David. "David, it is James," he said. "The girls are here and safe. They are sleeping now. Everything is okay." "Thank you, James," David said. "Thank you. I am at the newspaper office right now. I am working on my story. This is very important. This is going to change things. But I cannot stop worrying about Emma." "Do not worry," James said. "I will keep her safe. She is with Sophie. They are sleeping upstairs. I am sitting here. I will make sure nothing happens to them." "You are a good man, James," David said. "A very good man. I will not forget this." James sat in his chair all night. He did not sleep. He did not turn off the lights. He kept listening for any sounds. He wanted to make sure that nothing bad would happen. The next morning came. James had not slept, but he did not feel tired. He felt strong. He felt ready. At 7 o'clock, James went upstairs. He woke up the girls gently. He told them to get ready for school. He made breakfast. He made eggs, toast, and orange juice. The girls came downstairs and ate breakfast with him. They were happy and cheerful. They did not know about the danger. James was happy about this. At 8 o'clock, David called. "James, I cannot pick up Emma today," David said. His voice was very worried now. Not just worried, but scared. Truly scared. "I cannot leave the office. Something bad happened. The gang, they found something out. They know I have evidence against them. They are looking for me. They might come to my house. They might come to the newspaper. They might. James, they might come to you." James felt ice in his veins. He looked at the two girls eating breakfast. They were looking at him, wondering why he looked scared. "What do you mean?" James asked, but he already knew the answer. "The gang found out that Emma is with you," David said. "I do not know how. Maybe someone saw us. Maybe someone followed me. But they know. They called me. They said if I do not stop writing about them, if I do not destroy all my evidence, they will hurt Emma. They will hurt Sophie. They said they will come to your house today." James's hands shook. He could not hold the phone steady. "When?" James asked. "I do not know," David said. "Today, this afternoon or tonight. I do not know exactly when. But James, listen to me. You need to be ready. You need to protect them. You need to." "I will protect them," James said. His voice was strong now. His fear had turned into something else. Something stronger. "I will not let anything happen to them. I promise you." "Thank you," David said. "Thank you. I am going to the police. I am going to tell them everything. They will send protection to your house. They will help you. Just hold on until they come." James hung up the phone. He looked at the girls. They were still eating. They did not know. They did not understand. Sophie looked at her father. "Dad? Are you okay?" she asked. James smiled. It was a sad smile, but it was a smile. "Yes, baby. I am okay. Finish your breakfast. Then we are going to do something special." James's mind was working very fast now. He needed to think. He needed to make a plan. The Moreno gang was coming. He did not know when, but they were coming. He had to be ready. James finished eating. He looked at the two girls. Sophie and Emma. They were so young. They were so innocent. They did not know about evil in the world. They did not know about gangs and violence and threats. James wanted to keep them safe from all of this. He wanted to keep their world simple and happy. James sat in the kitchen and thought about his life. He thought about all the times he had protected Sophie. When she was a baby, he stayed awake at night to make sure she was breathing okay. When she was a small child, he held her hand crossing the street. When she went to school, he walked with her every day. He had always been her protector. He had always kept her safe. But this was different. This was more dangerous than anything he had ever faced. This was not about teaching her to ride a bicycle or helping her with homework. This was about life and death. This was about evil people who did not care about anything except money and power. James knew the Moreno gang by reputation. Everyone in the city knew about them. They had killed people. They had hurt families. They had destroyed lives. And now they were coming to his house. They were coming to get Emma. They were coming to threaten Sophie. But James was not going to let that happen. He was not going to run away. He was not going to hide. He was going to stand and fight. He was going to protect these girls with everything he had. James thought about David Chin. David was his friend. But David had chosen a dangerous path. He had chosen to write about the gang. He had chosen to expose them. And now David's choice was putting Emma in danger. But James did not blame David. He understood why David did it. David was fighting for what was right. David was trying to make the city safer. David was trying to make sure that evil people did not win. And James respected that. Even though it put Sophie in danger, James respected his friend's courage. "Girls," James said. His voice was calm, but inside he was not calm. Inside, he was burning with worry and determination. "I need to tell you something. Something important." Sophie and Emma stopped eating. They looked at their father. "There are some bad people," James said. "They are very bad. They do bad things. Emma's father, David, he is a journalist. He writes about these bad people. He is trying to stop them. But the bad people do not like this. They are angry. They are so angry that they want to hurt Emma and Sophie. They want to hurt you to make David stop writing about them." Sophie's eyes became very big. Emma's face became pale. "But Dad," Sophie said, "what are we going to do?" James looked at his daughter. He saw the fear in her eyes. But he also saw something else. He saw her strength. He saw her courage. She was his daughter. She was brave like him. "We are going to be strong," James said. "We are going to stay together. We are going to help each other. And we are going to survive. I will protect you. Both of you. Nothing bad will happen. I promise." James looked at Emma. "Emma, your father is a brave man. He is doing something very important. He is fighting for what is right. But right now, you need to be brave too. Can you do that?" Emma nodded. She was scared, but she was brave. "Good," James said. "Now, we need to get ready. We need to make the house safe. Sophie, I want you to go to your room. Take Emma with you. Lock the door. Put a chair against the door. Make it very hard for anyone to open the door. Stay there. Stay quiet. Do not come out unless I call you. Okay?" "Okay, Dad," Sophie said. She took Emma's hand. Both girls went upstairs. James heard Sophie lock the door to her room. James walked around his small house. He looked at every window and every door. He checked the locks. He made sure everything was secure. He moved the furniture. He made a place where he could hide the girls if he needed to. He put a knife in a safe place. He found a baseball bat and put it near the front door. James was not a violent man. He did not like violence. He never fought with anyone. But now, he was ready to fight. He was ready to do anything to protect Sophie and Emma. James sat in his chair and waited. He waited for the police. He waited for David. He waited for danger. The sun was going down. It was getting dark outside. James looked at the clock. It was 6 o'clock in the evening. His heart was beating very fast. Then he heard a sound. A car stopped in front of his house. James looked out of the window carefully. He saw a black car. A man got out. Then another man, then another man. There were 5 men total. They were all big and strong. They looked dangerous. James's blood became cold. But he did not move. He did not make any sound. One of the men came to the front door. He banged on the door with his fist. The bang was very loud. Very hard. Bang bang bang. Open the door, the man shouted. We know you are inside. Open the door now, or we will break it down. James did not move. He did not open the door. The men banged on the door again. Bang bang bang. The door began to shake. The lock began to break. James ran to the bottom of the stairs. Sophie, he shouted. Stay in your room. Do not come out. Stay quiet. Do not open the door. Dad. Sophie shouted back. Her voice was full of fear. Stay there. James said. I love you. Stay there. Bang bang bang. The men were breaking the door down. The lock was breaking. James could see the door beginning to crack. James picked up the baseball bat. He stood in the middle of the living room. He looked at the door. He was ready. He was so ready. The door crashed open. The 5 men came in. They were all very big. They all had angry faces. One of them was holding a gun. Where is the girl? The man with the gun asked. Where is David Chen's daughter? I am here, James said. His voice was very strong. Very steady. But you cannot have her. You cannot have either girl. You cannot touch them. The man with the gun laughed. You are going to stop us. You are nothing. You are nobody. We will take the girl, and then we will find David Chen, and we will make him pay for writing about us. No, James said. He tightened his hands on the baseball bat. You will not do that. Because I am going to stop you. The men looked at each other. They began to laugh. They thought James was crazy. They thought he was not serious. But James was serious. James was very serious. The first man came towards James. He was very big. Very strong. James swung the baseball bat. He hit the man in the chest. The man fell down. He could not breathe. The second man came at James. James hit him too. The second man fell down. The third man pulled out a knife. He ran towards James. James hit him with the baseball bat. The knife fell from his hand. But the fourth man, the one with the gun, he was still standing. He was looking at James. He was angry. He raised the gun. James saw the gun. He knew what was going to happen. He knew that the gun would fire. He knew that he might be hit. But he did not care. He did not care about anything except Sophie and Emma. You will have to go through me, James said. You will have to kill me. Because I will never let you touch those girls. Never. The man with the gun looked at James. He saw something in James's eyes. He saw a father. He saw a man who was ready to die for his daughters. He saw something that made him pause. Then there was a loud bang. The first bullet hit James in the shoulder. He fell down, but he got back up. The pain was terrible. Terrible like nothing he had ever felt before. But James did not stop. Stay behind me. James shouted towards the stairs. He knew Sophie and Emma could hear him. He wanted them to know that he was fighting. He wanted them to know that he was not giving up. The man with the gun fired again. The second bullet hit James in the side. James fell down again. Blood was coming out of his body. He could feel the blood. He could feel the pain. But James got up again. He looked at the man with the gun. You will have to kill me, James said. Because I will never let you pass. Never. The man with the gun was confused. He had shot James twice. James should be dead. James should be lying on the ground. But James was still standing. James was still fighting. The third bullet came. It hit James in the leg. James fell down. This time, he could not get up so quickly. The pain was too much. The blood was too much. James was lying on the floor. He was bleeding. He was hurt. But he was still between the stairs and the men. He was still protecting the girls. Sophie looked down from the top of the stairs. She saw her father on the floor. She saw the blood. She wanted to run to him. She wanted to help him. But Emma held her back. "Stay here," Emma whispered. "Stay here. Your dad said to stay in the room." Sophie was crying. Her tears were falling down. Her body was shaking. Then they heard sirens. Police sirens. They were getting closer and closer. The men heard the sirens too. They looked at each other. They looked at James, lying on the floor. They looked at the broken door. "Let's go," the man with the gun said. "The police are coming. Let's get out of here." The men ran to their car. They got in the car and drove away very fast. They left James lying on the floor. The police car arrived. 2 police officers ran out. They came into the house. They saw James lying on the floor. They saw all the blood. "Call an ambulance," one of the officers shouted. "We need an ambulance right now." The other officer ran up the stairs. "Is anyone up there?" he asked. "Yes." Sophie's voice came from the room. "We are here. We are okay." The officer opened the door. He saw Sophie and Emma. They were crying, but they were not hurt. "Your father is downstairs," the officer said. "He is hurt. But the ambulance is coming. He will be okay." Sophie and Emma ran downstairs. They saw James lying on the floor. They ran to him. "Dad!" Sophie cried. "Dad! Do not leave us. Do not die. Please do not die." James looked at his daughter. He saw her face. He saw her tears. But he also saw that she was safe. Emma was safe. The girls were safe. "I am okay, baby," James said. His voice was very weak now. "I am okay. You are safe. That is all that matters." The ambulance came. The doctors put James on a stretcher. They put him in the ambulance. They drove very fast to the hospital. Sophie and Emma rode in the back with James. Sophie held her father's hand. She did not let go. "Stay with me, Dad," Sophie whispered. "Please stay with me. I need you. Emma needs you. Please stay with me." "I will stay," James said. "I will always stay with you. I will never leave you." At the hospital, the doctors took James to surgery. They worked on him for 3 hours. They took out the bullets. They stopped the bleeding. They fixed the wounds. Sophie and Emma sat in the waiting room. They were crying. They were holding each other. They were waiting. Waiting and praying that James would be okay. David Chen arrived at the hospital. He ran to his daughter. He hugged Emma very tight. "Emma. Thank God." David said. "Thank God you are okay. Are you hurt? Are you okay?" "I am okay, Dad," Emma said. "But James. James got shot. He saved us. He saved us 3 times. 3 bullets. He took 3 bullets for us." David looked at Sophie. Sophie was crying very hard. David put his arm around her. "Your father is the bravest man I know," David said. "He is a hero. Do you know that? He is a true hero." After 3 hours, the doctor came out of the operating room. "He is okay," the doctor said. "He lost a lot of blood. He is very hurt. But he is alive. He will recover. He needs time, but he will recover." Sophie and Emma cried. But this time, they were crying with happiness. They were crying with relief. After 2 days, James woke up. Sophie was sitting next to his bed. She was sleeping in the chair. When James woke up, Sophie woke up too. "Dad!" Sophie said. She jumped up and hugged her father very carefully. "You are awake. You are okay." "Yes, baby," James said. "I am okay. I am here. I am not going anywhere." "I love you, Dad," Sophie said. "I love you so much. Thank you for saving us." "I love you too, Sophie," James said. "I will always protect you. Always. That is what fathers do. That is what I will always do." 3 weeks later, James came home from the hospital. He was still hurt. He still had pain in his shoulder, his side, and his leg. But he was alive. He was home. He was with Sophie. Sophie helped her father. She brought him water. She brought him food. She sat with him and talked to him. She read stories to him. She made him laugh. David Chen finished his story. He published it in the newspaper. The story was about the Moreno gang. The story was about the evidence James helped protect. The story was about a father who gave everything to protect 2 girls. The police used David's evidence. They arrested the gang members. They put them in jail. They stopped them from hurting anyone else. James and Sophie received many visitors at their home. Police officers came. Newspaper people came. Neighbors came. They all wanted to say thank you. They all wanted to say that James was a hero. But James did not feel like a hero. He felt like a father. He felt like someone who did what needed to be done. One day, a reporter came to James's house. The reporter was writing a story about James and Sophie. The reporter asked James questions. "James, how did you find the strength to protect the girls? How did you do it? You were shot 3 times. Why did you not give up?" James looked at his daughter. Sophie was sitting next to him on the couch. She was holding his hand. "I did not find strength," James said. "The strength was always inside me. It is inside every parent. When your child is in danger, you do not think. You do not hesitate. You just do what you have to do. Love gives you strength. Love for your child gives you the power to do impossible things." He looked at Sophie and smiled. "I took 3 bullets that day. But I would take 300 bullets if I had to. Because Sophie is my daughter. And I love her more than my own life. That is what a father does." Sophie cried. She hugged her father very tight. "I love you too, Dad," she said. "You are my hero. You will always be my hero." The reporter wrote the story. The story was in newspapers across the city. The story was about a single father named James. A father who took 3 bullets. A father who said, "Stay behind me," and meant it with all his heart. People read the story. People cried when they read it. Parents held their children closer when they read it. They understood what James had done. They understood the power of love. Years later, Sophie became a journalist like David Chen. She wrote stories about heroes. Real heroes. Not movie heroes or superhero heroes. But real people who do brave things because they love. Her first big story was about her father. It was called, "Stay Behind Me," the story of a father's sacrifice. In the story, Sophie wrote, "My father is not a superhero. He does not have special powers. He is just a factory worker. He is just a single dad who works hard and loves his daughter. But that day, when he stood between danger and me, he became the strongest man in the world. He became the bravest man in the world. Because love made him that way. Love for me, and love for my best friend Emma. Love turned an ordinary man into an extraordinary hero. Sophie also wrote about what happened after that terrible day. She wrote about how her father recovered. She wrote about how the doctors said it was a miracle that he survived. She wrote about how her father did physical therapy for months to learn to walk again without limping. She wrote about his pain and his struggle. But she also wrote about his strength. She wrote about how her father never complained. She wrote about how he smiled even when he was hurting. She wrote about how he still made breakfast for her every morning. She wrote about how he still hugged her and told her he loved her. Sophie wrote, "People often ask me if I was angry at my father for putting himself in danger. They ask if I wished he had just let the men take Emma and closed the door. They ask if I thought it was worth it. The answer is simple. Yes. 1,000 times yes. My father taught me what it means to be human. He taught me what courage really is. He taught me that love is more important than safety. He taught me that standing up for what is right is more important than staying comfortable. These lessons changed my life. They made me the person I am today." Sophie's story won many awards. It was published in newspapers across the country. It was shared on the internet. Millions of people read it. And millions of people cried when they read it. Parents read the story and held their children closer. Teachers read the story and taught their students about real heroes. Doctors read the story in hospitals. Police officers read the story in police stations. Business leaders read the story in their offices. One man read the story and decided to stop being a criminal. He realized that people like James existed. People who had real courage, people who would die for their family. He realized he wanted to be like that. So he left the gang and started a new life. A young girl read the story and decided she wanted to become a police officer. She wanted to protect people like James protected Sophie and Emma. She wanted to fight against evil like David fought against the gang. An old woman read the story and thought about her own children. She realized she had not told them lately how much she loved them. So she called them. She told them she loved them. She went to visit them. She spent time with them. She became closer to her family. James's sacrifice did not just save 2 girls that day. His sacrifice changed thousands of lives. His courage inspired millions of people. His love showed the world what really matters in life. James read his daughter's story. He read it many times. Each time, he cried. Not because of the pain from his wounds, the wounds had healed a long time ago. He cried because of the love he saw in Sophie's words. He cried because his sacrifice had meant something. He cried because Sophie was safe. She was alive. She was happy. And that was everything. That was all that mattered. One evening, James and Sophie sat on their front porch. They watched the sunset together. The sky was full of colors, orange, purple, pink, and gold. "Dad," Sophie asked, "were you scared that day? When the men came?" James thought for a moment. He was honest with his daughter. "Yes, I was scared," he said. "I was very scared. But I was more scared of losing you than I was of the pain. Would you do it again?" Sophie asked. James put his arm around his daughter. "In a heartbeat," he said. "I would do it 1,000 times. 1,000,000 times, because you are my daughter. You are my life." Sophie rested her head on her father's shoulder. They sat together in silence, watching the sunset. 2 people who loved each other. A father and a daughter, a single dad and his girl. Everything was going to be okay. More than okay. Everything was going to be beautiful. Because they had each other. And that was enough. That was everything.